Welcome to the Synapse video of the week. In this week's video, we are going to be going over our first video on resources to help you live your best life with Parkinson's. And I am very excited in this very first video to be bringing up my all-time favorite resource to refer people to, and that is the Every Victory Counts manual from the Davis-Finney Foundation. So many of you that work with me may already have your copy of this. I hope you do. But this is a wonderful resource that we have been recommending for years. As you can see, this is a pretty thick manual, right? There's a lot of great information in here. But the awesome thing is that you can get this for free. If you go to their website, dpf.org, I will put the link in the show notes and you can get your own free copy of this. So you can either download a copy of it entirely for free, or you can have a printed version like this sent to your house by just paying for shipping. And there are pros to doing both of those to get your copy. Now mine is the older version. I think I got mine in 2017. This is the copy that I have at home that I am referencing all the time. They did update it in 2019 and it looks a little different from this and has some updated info. But we are going to take a deeper dive into this, and I'm going to show you some images from the new manual so you can get an idea of what types of things are covered in this fantastic resource. So as a physical therapist and as a healthcare provider that really works to help people with Parkinson's every single day, this is a resource that I have been using for a long time because it's probably the best all-in-one resource that I have found, where it covers all of the topics of wellness, of living well, truly living well with Parkinson's, really goes into all of those in great detail and in a way that's really personable, with good stories to follow along with and great pictures, and is a fun experience for those that are looking through it. There's also fantastic worksheets. Again, as a provider, I love to refer people to these worksheets because they help them in their doctor's visits or just figuring out kind of what symptoms they have and how to track and monitor them. So I'm going to show you some images from it so you can just get an idea of what is inside. But again, this is a very thick manual, okay? So this is just a small hint at what is inside for you to see. So if I get things going right, you will start to see some images here. And the first thing I'm just showing you is the table of contents, where you can see all the different great topics that they have. From Chapter 1, you have Parkinson's, now what? Great question. I think you all have been there when you first get that diagnosis. To Chapter 2, Parkinson's 101, everything that you need to know about it. All of the great basics there for you to know. Then they go on to talk about motor symptoms, non-motor symptoms, the emotional ones, as well as non-motor symptoms, the cognitive ones, and non-motor symptoms, the autonomic things that happen as well, such as, constipation, bladder issues, drooling, excessive sweating, all sorts of things that can happen, including also that neurogenic orthostatic hypotension that many people get, aka dizziness, right? Many of you experience dizziness, so lots of great information in here about that as well. Something that I was just recently reminded again of is that, as you can see, our Chapter 7 has this fantastic talk on medication. I was just talking with one of our board members last night about how they felt that we needed to have more information on medications for people. And lo and behold, as I was flipping through this book today again, I was reminded that this is a fantastic resource for you because it goes over the medications that are commonly used for your movement or your motor symptoms and the non-motor symptoms. What types of medications are used when you are having cognitive difficulties or hallucinations and things like that, or that are used when you're experiencing depression or anxiety, as well as really important medications that you should be avoiding or using with caution when you have Parkinson's. It's equally as important. So fantastic discussion on that in here, with a lot of the good questions that come up when that are related to taking your medication too. There's also a chapter on surgical therapies like deep brain stimulation or the Duopa pump, if you've heard of that, where you can have the levodopa going straight into your body. There's also, of course, a chapter on exercise, our favorite topic here. Other complementary therapies like physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech language and swallowing therapy, and a great chapter on nutrition, which I'm going to highlight here in just a moment as well. They also dive into emotional health with some fantastic questions that I'm going to show you in a moment, and go through the importance of social connections, relationships, and community, general health and wellness, and of course, the practical aspects of long-term care and financial planning. So wow, that's a lot of things that they provide. And I just want to show you just kind of how beautiful it is inside of here. So every page has pictures and quotes from people, and nice stories from people that you can relate to as you are going through as well. As I mentioned before, Chapter 7, medication. This is a great one to check out. I don't have all the pages here. Obviously, you need to go get your own copy. But they have, after this page, they have wonderful charts about all those medications that we were talking about and things to be watching out for when you're taking them. As I mentioned before, the nutrition section, not only do they tell you the recommended foods to be eating, but also some of the great questions that people have around eating, such as things like people saying, should I eat only organic food? Or the question about being constipated all the time. Is there anything I can do to help manage these symptoms? Or when you take your carbidopa, levodopa, does it impact what you should be eating? And also the importance of staying hydrated. And this is just one page of many questions on nutrition. So not only, again, does it tell you what to eat, but the other things to be considering when it comes to eating that you may have had questions about yourself. Some wonderful topics on emotional health. And they bring up some really great questions, again, that are worth getting this manual and looking through, such as things like managing the shame that you may be feeling about having Parkinson's or what it's doing to you. This is a very relevant question that not a lot of people like to talk about openly, but is very common. And so they have a great discussion about that in here, as well as the role that spirituality can play in living well with Parkinson's. And my favorite question, how can I find my happy again, right? So there's some just really fun aspects in here, not just geared around medical conditions and things that you need to talk to your doctor about, but also just, again, that component of wellness, how you can live well with Parkinson's and happy and fulfilled. My other favorite part that I was mentioning before are the worksheets. So as a therapist, I love to refer people to the worksheets that are included in here because it can really help you to think critically and document the symptoms that you are having in a way where you can explain that to your doctor well and keep track of it. So I am just going to highlight a few of these questionnaires and worksheets, but you can see here that there is a long list of things that are included in here, okay? And some of my favorite things are the home safety checklist. This is about 3 or 4 pages long. I'm just showing you the first page here. So things that you can go through your home and think about changing that would make your home safer. Great topic. There's also a travel checklist, and this was actually interesting because it's still the summertime at the time of this recording, and we've had a lot of questions. I have a lot of people come and ask me about traveling with Parkinson's and things that they should be considering. And I had forgot that this travel checklist was in here. And so this is a great thing to look through if you are planning a bigger trip or needing some tips and tricks for how to work through your travels. I also love how they present some of these symptom worksheets, such as this one where you can see the body and it has you go through and just circle all the symptoms that you might be experiencing. And then they have another page where you can rate to what degree you are experiencing that but another great way of communicating with your doctor what it is that you have going on. There's also sheets in here for helping you if you have dyskinesias or having a lot of on and off periods with your medication. Super important to track that information to help with medication decisions. And there's some really nice graphs in here that can help you to do that. There's also worksheets on troubleshooting constipation, anxiety, insomnia and sleep, low blood pressure and dizziness, and also worksheets here where you can help you organize your information to see the doctor and who your medical providers are, as well as preparing for a hospital stay. Again, this is just the first page of many in there that can help you with those topics. So I was just highlighting some of the things that most commonly come up when I am talking with people. But as you could see before, there are way more worksheets than that included in there. And what I would actually recommend is that for the worksheets, now in this most recent version of this manual, they actually broke it up into 3 different pieces. There is the informational manual, which I highly recommend getting a hard copy of it because I think that that's probably the easiest on people's eyes to read. But the worksheets now come in their own separate pack, and I think that that is worth getting as the digital download, because then you can just print them off as many times as you want and fill them out before you go to your doctor's visits or when they are pertinent and relevant to you. So that's a great way to use that digital copy. And they also now have the Every Victory Counts for care partners too. There used to be a section in the old manual, but now they have taken that out and created an entirely separate manual for our care partners. So make sure you get that downloaded as well. Now, as I said, these are all free, okay? And you just need to go onto the website dpf.org to download your copy of that. And that's all I have to say on that today. So make sure that you go out and get yours and have a great time looking through it. There is so much to be found there. I am constantly, even though I've had mine for 5 years, I'm constantly revisiting it every time somebody has a question for me. So I think it could be a great resource for you as well. This video is brought to you by Synapse Fitness Foundation, a nonprofit empowering people with Parkinson's to live their best lives through exercise, education, and connection to others. The presenter of today's video is Dr. Kelly Becker, physical therapist and founder of Synapse Fitness Foundation. If you found today's video useful, please click the like button and forward this video onto somebody that you think would find this useful. Thank you.